over the requirement to meet this 2 log reduction for the other country. It's just they're open tanks, it's just the holding time effectively.
And then at the tertiary stage,
they have about 8 of these installations in the whole world, and ours is the first one in Europe of theirs. So, well, the noise is just this thing. That's to dry out the fertilizer. So Pete mentioned that we slow from digesting goes to the centrifuge, run around the liquid separate from the solids. The solids in the case sludge management, and then the liquid from the centrate it goes into a buffer tank behind the building here, and it's held there for about 24 hours, and then that's okay. So the centrated liquor is coming from the centrifuge, and they're already high in ammonia and phosphate. So then we send them into this reactor, and we add a little bit of magnesium and some caustic to adjust the pH, and then we can precipitate struvite. So struvite is magnesium, ammonium, phosphate, and it can be used as a fertilizer. There's a phosphate-rich fertilizer. And then it means that because we're removing this phosphorus off the site as a fertilizer, that there's much less phosphorus moving around our whole site. So it helps with any other problems we have on site, such as struvite forming on the inside of pipes. So you may have heard of struvite, which forms on the inside of pipes. It's kind of like limescale in a kettle. So it'll keep building up until you just can't use it anymore. You can't use the pipes. So the point is that we can make the struvite form where we want it to in this reactor and remove it entirely from the site so that it won't clog up our pipes anymore. And well, the noise that you hear is the drying of the pellets. So the pellets, they kind of form like a pearl. That's why the system's called a pearl. So you start off with a little bit of seed, and then the phosphate, the magnesium ammonium phosphate kind of forms on the outside. So it means that it's a really hard, tiny pearl of phosphorus fertilizer. And then what you hear is just they're kind of drying and sorting, dewatering, drying and sorting the different fertilizer. So they can grow the fertilizer, little pearls, to different sizes depending on what people want. So you can make tiny little sizes of the pearl struvite so that it will fall between the blades of grass when people are playing golf, or you can make bigger ones depending on what people want slower release. One of the main things about this fertilizer is that it's slow release. So it's not water soluble, it's only soluble by the acetic acid, which is excreted from the roots of plants when they need nutrients. So that's how we're helping the whole phosphorus cycle, that we're not just recovering the phosphorus from here and then kind of continuing the system of eutrophication. We're actually making a slow release fertilizer. So that's quite an important thing about our system, that we've chosen to use this. And yes, so you may not know that all of the phosphorus used in the UK, all of it is imported from Morocco. So obviously if we can make our own phosphorus fertiliser in the UK, we can reduce our imports. Obviously the transport required to move the fertiliser around is a lot less.
less virtual load.
Yes. A lot of, there's obviously local benefits for our site, so we can improve the operation of the site, and then there's national benefits. So if we got everyone working in wastewater in the UK to recover some phosphorus, then we could reduce our imports of phosphorus by about 40% or something.
Do you have a number to how much magnesium you input into the...
Well, that's kind of set by Ostara. So our system is actually run by Ostara in Canada. So they kind of set their recipe for the struvite. So we measure the magnesium, we measure the phosphate and the ammonia, and then they say, okay, you need to add this amount of magnesium to make the struvite form, you need to add this amount of caustic soda. So it's really just run from Canada remotely, and then they measure, you may see it's kind of like a cone shape. Yeah. So they measure the pressure at 2 different points, and whenever that reaches a specific differential pressure, then they say, okay, harvest it now. We'd say, okay, harvest it, and then somebody here will have to come along, press the harvest button, and then it's sent all the way up here and harvested.
Okay, so what you are doing, you just check the agronomic properties or the properties of struvite, the characteristics, and after you see, you are going back and you see if the process is going well, or if you need to add more or to adjust. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of done in a batch reaction as well. And it's called an upflow fluidized bed reactor, is the name of this reactor. So it means cone, and then it's a recycle of the liquid around from the top down to the bottom. So it also comes from the bottom it, and it's kind of held as a nice bed until it comes time to harvest it.
And how long does the process take for you to produce? Sorry, produce this cheval
It
crystal?
depends on the size of the crystals, but it'll be about 24 hours. Price. Well, we calculated that the revenue we'll produce from selling this tree white fertiliser is about £20,000. But that's nothing compared to the savings that we make on site, because if we reduce our own dosing, we can meet our
£22,000.
discharge consents more easily, with the performance is improved. So because of all the savings,
They input the phosphorus.
as well, savings are about 100,000 a year. Yeah, so really the revenue is really
cheap.
tiny in comparison to the savings on site. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this is only a drop in the ocean, but we can prove the concept, see that it does work in the UK, get everyone interested and excited about it, and show that, like, you know, we're the first people to do this. So.
Very nice.
So last year, maybe, how long it's here?
1,000